Here on Houston's Morning News, I want to preface this by saying we're not trying to talk you out of sending your kids to college, if that's what you want to do. We're just trying to tell you that there are alternatives. In some cases, there are better alternatives, because not everybody is, cut out to get a college education. Not everybody goes there and succeeds. Not everybody goes there and gets a degree they can use. There are a real shortage when it comes to skilled workers in our country right now. You don't have to go to college to make a whole lot of money. Joining us to talk about it is Adaptive Construction Solutions President Nick Morgan. And in some cases, Nick, you can make more money over your lifetime by going into one of these industries than you can by getting a college degree.
That's right. The average individual who completes an apprenticeship program earns $300,000 more during their career than a person who does not.
Why do you suppose it is that we don't encourage youngsters to get involved in these types of things? Do we kind of look down our nose at some of these jobs?
Well, I think we don't realize what somebody can earn in the skilled trades. A lot of employers are paying skilled workers anywhere between $80,000 to $100,000 a year in their craft.
Well, I basically grew up in rural Texas, so I think that a lot of people, you sort of learned how to patch things together. You learned a lot of skills and trades in addition to going to college. So trade schools, do we have an abundance of them now? I mean, because this is the new thing?
Well, trade schools aren't the only solution. Employers, they value credentials, but they also focus on experience. And so an individual who graduates from a trade school doesn't quite have the experience that the employer needs. So employers are starting to invest more in apprenticeship programs that provide both. And some apprenticeship programs even give you college credits as well.
Yeah, apprenticeship programs kind of went by the wayside there for a while. They used to be pretty prevalent years and years ago, didn't they?
In the building trades, they did.
Yeah.
How about in electronics? I mean, can you get a move forward? Everything has to be based on electronics and your IT skills. Apprentice programs in that too?
There is. There's apprentice programs in almost 1,000 occupations today and across America. There's over 550,000 apprentices, and believe it or not, 170,000 employers participate in apprenticeship programs across the country.
Nick, seems to me that this all kind of began, or used to begin at the high school level with vocational education programs where, kids, especially seniors, had an opportunity to go to school part-time and to work part-time. That's another thing that kind of fell by the wayside when we kind of got involved in sending every kid to college. Do you see them making a comeback? Because it seems to me it needs to kind of get started there.
We do. Across the state of Texas, the Texas Workforce Commission has really led the way to push high schools to bridge the gap with employers, bring them all together and sit down around the table and discuss what are those skills that they need to learn in school to make them marketable as they graduate.
Where do you start if you're interested in this? Where do you start looking?
Well,
Texas Workforce Commission?
Your local Workforce Solutions office, your one-stop shop operators, they're American Job Centers. They go by a lot of names, but here in Houston, Workforce Solutions, they usually have a list of all the apprenticeship programs. Our programs, we're constantly recruiting. We've had the largest apprenticeship in the state of Texas for veterans, and this summer we're now going to expand to young adults graduating high school.
Are some of the biggest openings right now, Nick, in the construction industry? And for those who remember the last time we had a recession and there was layoffs in the construction industry, how do you kind of get past the argument of saying, well, it's good now, but what happens if the economy goes down?
Well, if you're a credentialed professional, you're less likely to go find yourself in a position of being unemployed. That's one of the reasons why somebody completes an apprenticeship program, makes so much during their lifetime, is because that's the individual who's not going to become unemployed.
Is there a threshold age?
There's not. Well, for a lot of the construction trades, you have to be 18 for different OSHA regulations. But there's apprenticeships that begin as young as 16. But at the same note, we have plenty of apprentices that are in their upper 40s and lower 50s. So, today, education is a lifelong pursuit.
Okay, good to hear from you. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. That is Nicholas Morgan. Nick is the president of Adaptive Construction Solutions.
That's fascinating to me.
Yeah. People going back at 48 to learn those skills.
I'd do that.
See, it's never too late. Never too late. 7:23, time to take a look at traffic and weather. See how the drive's going with Julie DeHardy. What's happening, Julie?
We had a little situation in Spring. It wasn't there very long on 45, the North Freeway, and it was the outbound side before Louetta.